state of Montana. And I don't know if anybody got to hear Tim Sheehy, the senator from Montana who served in Iraq, served in Iran. His close friends were killed by Iranian terrorists. It's a great speech. If you Google Tim Sheehy, an incredible story. And then the scripture, that's going to be part of our lesson today. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. And I love the fact, we've said it before, but Jim and Connie's son, Bo asked his current wife when they were dating, "Are you a Proverbs 31 woman?" That's a good way to start a relationship. Well, if you turn to page 3 of your outline, this will be Proverbs chapter 30, and it's not written by Solomon. It's written by a man named Agur, A-G-U-R, and that name, remember in Hebrew, all the names mean something. Agur means collector or gatherer, and he's likely a Gentile convert to Judaism. And his theme is living in contentment. Like Paul said, I can be content whatever state I'm in, as long as it's Texas. So he's writing this to a couple of his friends to circulate. And he says the words of Agur, the son of Jacob, his utterance. This man declared to Ithiel and Ukal. Ukal, that'd be a good name, wouldn't it, for your kid? And Ithiel means God with us, and Ukal means I am strong. So all the Hebrew names have something in meaning about their life. And he says, surely I am more stupid than any man. I don't have understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom nor have knowledge of the Holy One. And it's interesting, Albert Einstein said the same thing. The longer I live, the more I'm convinced I don't know anything. I don't have the knowledge of the Holy One. So he's going to break these into some stanzas. And he said, who has ascended into heaven or descended? Well, that would be Christ. Who has gathered the wind in his fists? How about Christ on the Sea of Galilee calming the storm? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of God is pure. He's a shield to those that put their trust in him. Don't add to his words. You don't have to add your own interpretation. Go with the scriptures, lest he rebuke you, and you be found a liar. 2 things I request of God. 2 things. Please don't deprive me before I die. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Let me be a truth teller. Then he says, give me neither poverty nor riches. Put me in the middle class, please. Because if I want the food that's allotted to me, just enough. But if I'm too rich or too full, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Being self-satisfied. Or if I'm poor and steal, and it profanes the name of my God. Just give me enough to be satisfied, to be content. Do not malign a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be found guilty. And then he says, there is a generation, and I wrote in my Bible, now. This is the now generation. There's a generation that curses his father and does not bless its mother. That's commandment number 5 of the top 10. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long in the land, and it go well with you. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes. Pure in its own eyes. Everybody can rationalize most anything. Everything goes, yet is not washed from its filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes. They're full of pride, self-serving pride, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are like swords, and their fangs are like knives. And I thought, what about social media? You know, it has an incredible effect on people, especially young women. The fangs are like knives, that's gossip. To devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. Now he says the leech has 2 daughters, and I'm thinking, who is he talking about here? Well, my interpretation is he's talking about government. The leech has 2 daughters, give and give, tax and tax and retax. The leech. And then he gets into these stanzas where he says, there's 3 things on this subject. No, wait, there's 4. So he does this over and over. And he says there's 3 things that are never satisfied, that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the childless woman. The earth that is not satisfied with water, Jack. That's a drought. And wildfires, and the fire never says enough. The eye that mocks his father and scorns obedience to his mother, he has quite the solution here. The ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it. Then he says there's 3 things that are too wonderful for me. Yes, 4. I don't quite understand how great these things are. The way of an eagle in the air. Boy, the flight of an eagle is a magnificent, magnificent thing. I love watching Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. They still show those repeats. And they've had them on the bald eagles and how beautiful they are. And the way of a serpent on a rock. How does that snake travel? I mean, it's incredible. The ship the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a virgin, marrying a virgin bride, is a wonderful thing. And then he says, this is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, hey, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just doing what came natural to me. I've justified my sin. And then he says, for 3 things, the earth is perturbed, the whole earth is perturbed, and yes, for it cannot bear up. A servant when he reigns, he no longer wants to be a servant, he wants to be in charge. A fool, when he's filled with food, self-satisfied. This guy had a great sense of humor. I really like reading these. And a hateful woman when she's married. Glad that didn't happen to me. And a maidservant who succeeds her mistress, she takes over the household and lords over her mistress. And then there's four little things here that are little on the earth, but they're incredibly wise. And it's incredible how God has put wisdom into some of the smallest creatures. He says the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. They're wise. They're working towards the winter. The rock badgers are a feeble folk, yet they make their homes in the crags of the rock. The locusts have no king, yet they all advance in ranks. They're organized. You ever see those locust swarms that just eat everything? It's incredible. You know, who's been to Salt Lake City? A couple of people. They have a statue there to a seagull. And the reason is the locusts were about to wipe out the whole crops of the Mormons out there in Utah. And God brought an army of seagulls to devour the locusts. And that's why they have the statue to the seagull. A spider skillfully grasps with its hands. And hey, spiders are even in the king's palace. So they live in some nice places, these spiders. There are three things that are majestic in pace. Yes, four, which are stately and long. A lion, which is mighty among beasts and does not turn away from any. The king of the jungle. A greyhound. Oh, I love it. Anybody been to the dog races? No? Down, if you go to Tampa, they have them down there. They got a greyhound park. And they have a mechanical rabbit that these greyhounds chase around the track. And they're going like 60 miles an hour. It's incredible. A male goat. I don't know why he finds that so great, but a male goat. And a king whose troops are with him, who are loyal to the king. Loyal. It pains me when we have people in harm's way around the world to hear people disparage in our own country. We have loyal troops, loyal to America. If you've been foolish in exalting yourself, or if you have devised evil, put your hand on your mouth and shut the heck up, is what he is saying. We got wind chimes in here. Huh, must be my hot air. For as the churning of milk produces butter, and the ringing of somebody's nose produces blood, so the forcing of wrath produces strife, which produces wars. And then Proverbs 31, great chapter. This chapter is written by Bathsheba, Solomon's mother, and of course, David's wife. David sinned greatly in having her husband murdered, Uriah. But I I remember Sally always used to say she must have been like a Highland Park woman or something. But you have to do what the king says, so Bathsheba was not an evil woman at all. And it says the words of King Lemuel's mother. Well, Lemuel was Bathsheba's pet name for Solomon. Okay, I'm sure all your mothers had a pet name for you. When I would do something wrong, my nickname became Buster. You listen here, Buster. Lemuel means devoted to God. But this is Solomon. And she's going to give, in the first 9 verses here, advice, good advice, to Lemuel, Solomon. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. She's giving some very good advice. What, my son, and what, son of my womb, and what, son of my vows, don't give your strength to women. Well, Bathsheba saw how many wives Solomon had. 700 wives. Most were treaty wives that they have with another country. But she's telling him to be a man. Don't be henpecked and have women be your downfall. And then she says, nor your ways to that which destroys kings. And that would be bad habits. She wants him to have good habits. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine. Now, I'm sure she means in excess, but it's not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink, lest they drink and forget the law. I don't know how Trump has supposedly never drank alcohol in his whole life. And he has an incredible stamina that comes from somewhere. But I think right now he is God's man for our country. We were very close